Grandpa, please, you have to wire it now or they're going to hurt me.
Dorilla the gorilla froze, his massive hands trembling over the keypad. The voice was unmistakable. It was Saru. But the cold dread rising in Dorilla's chest whispered a terrifying truth. Something was horribly wrong. In a single, frantic midnight click, 40 years of back-breaking labor, quiet Sunday mornings, and a lifetime-saved nest egg vanished into a digital black hole. It wasn't just money lost. It was the entire foundation of a dignified retirement stripped away in seconds, leaving Dorilla staring at an empty account and an unimaginable future of dependency. What Dorilla didn't know, and what invisible predators are hiding from millions of seniors across the United States and Canada right now, is that you don't need a gun to rob a bank anymore. You only need 3 seconds of audio harvested from a harmless family video. And the most heartbreaking part? The trap was unknowingly sprung by the person Dorilla trusted most. For 40 grueling years, Dorilla the gorilla woke before dawn. In the damp mist of the mountain foothills, he hauled heavy timber and saved every scrap of fruit, sacrificing modern comforts so that one day he could rest. His retirement canopy was modest, a cozy treehouse overlooking the valley, built entirely on the promise of peace and security. Dorilla represented the backbone of the North American working class, honest, trusting, and fiercely protective of his independence. But peace in the digital age is fragile. While Dorilla trusted the quiet rhythm of his golden years, invisible machinery was turning in the dark. Every birthday video posted online, every casual phone call recorded on social media left a trail of breadcrumbs. Dorilla thought his life savings were locked away safely in the community vault of the Great Canopy. He had no idea that a digital ghost was already walking through his front door, wearing the face and voice of the person he loved most.
Enter Kitsune the fox, smooth, impeccably groomed, and reeking of effortless modern charm. Kitsune didn't look like a thief. He looked like a miracle worker. Operating from a sleek, neon-lit digital den across the border, Kitsune positioned himself as a high-tech financial helper, offering seniors seamless digital security upgrades to protect their nest eggs from inflation. He whispered sweet promises of digital safety into the ears of unsuspecting retirees, wrapping his claws in velvet paperwork. Meanwhile, Saru the monkey, Dorilla's flashy, impatient younger cousin, fell hard for Kitsune's digital pitch. Saru loved shortcuts. Impulsive and easily dazzled by high-yield tech trends, Saru started spending hours on his glowing handheld screen, eagerly absorbing Kitsune's flashy online seminars. When Saru tried to drag Dorilla into the new digital ecosystem, Dorilla hesitated. But Saru brushed away his fears with a casual laugh, assuring him that Kitsune was a certified genius. Trust, once anchored in firm handshakes and decades of proven loyalty, was quietly shifting towards glowing screens and algorithms.
Kitsune struck when the emotional vulnerability was highest. In the spring of 2026, economic anxiety rippled through neighborhoods from Florida to British Columbia. Inflation bit hard at grocery and heating costs, and seniors felt the walls closing in. Kitsune's digital advertisements began flooding every screen Saru touched, promising a guaranteed canopy shield that would double retirement yields and lock out all online fraud forever. Saru, eager to prove his financial savvy to older family members, bought into the illusion completely. He began pushing Dorilla to migrate his life savings into Kitsune's proprietary digital vault.
Wake up, Dorilla. The old banking ways are dead,
Saru urged, flashing glossy digital brochures provided by Kitsune. The temptation wasn't just about getting rich, it was the desperate human desire to feel safe in an increasingly complicated world. Dorilla, worn down by the constant noise of a changing economy, felt his protective armor begin to crack. The warning signs flashed like distant lightning storms over the canopy, but Saru actively blocked them out. When Dorilla noticed that Kitsune's official registration numbers kept changing on every new document, Saru waved it off as bureaucratic updates. When Kitsune demanded immediate unverified wire transfers under the guise of an urgent security audit, Saru insisted it was standard high-tech procedure. Every time Dorilla's gut instinct, honed by decades of hard-earned survival, flared up, Saru smothered the doubt with impatient optimism.
You're just old-fashioned, Dorilla. Trust the system.
Saru chided, eager to impress the smooth-talking fox. The psychological trap tightened. Dorilla ignored the cold sweat on the back of his neck because admitting he was lost meant admitting he was obsolete. The digital predator relied entirely on this quiet, paralyzing shame, the fear of looking foolish in front of the younger generation.
The trap sprang on a heavy, rain-slicked Tuesday evening. A frantic digital ping lit up Dorilla's screen. It was Saru, breathless and crying, screaming that he had been detained by border authorities during a routine trip and needed an immediate emergency wire transfer to avoid a catastrophic legal disaster. Moments later, Dorilla's phone rang. It was Saru's voice, exact, desperate, sobbing for help. Without pausing to verify, driven entirely by the primal instinct to protect his kin, Dorilla rushed to his terminal. His massive fingers shook as he punched in the routing numbers dictated by the trembling voice on the line. The transfer authorization screen flashed red, demanding a final confirmation. Dorilla closed his eyes, heard Saru's sobbing echo in his memory, and clicked confirm. In less than 3 seconds, the digital pipeline sucked 40 years of timber hauling labor out of Dorilla's account and straight into Kitsune's offshore pockets. Silence in the jungle can be deafening. The next morning, the real Saru walked casually through Dorilla's front door, holding a cup of fresh fruit and humming a tune, completely oblivious to any emergency. Dorilla stared at him, blood draining from his face.
Saru, are you all right? Where were you?
Dorilla stammered. Saru blinked, confused.
I was just at the market. Why?
The room tilted. Dorilla grabbed his phone and dialed the bank. The automated voice clicked on with brutal, clinical cheer.
Your available balance is 0.
There was no border patrol. There was no legal crisis. The voice on the phone the night before hadn't been Saru at all. It was an artificial intelligence clone, synthesized entirely from a 3-second video clip Saru had proudly posted on his public social feed weeks earlier. Kitsune had stolen Saru's voice to rob Dorilla blind. The vault was hollow. The dignity of retirement was gone.
As Dorilla sat frozen in his rocking chair, crushed by the weight of absolute despair, a heavy knock echoed at the door. It was Kame the turtle. Slow, weathered, and unshakable, Kame moved with the timeless patience of a creature who had survived every market crash and technological wave for decades. Kame stepped into the ruined treehouse without a word of judgment. Kame set down a heavy leather ledger and poured 2 cups of warm tea.
A thief didn't steal your money today, Dorilla,
Kame said softly, his voice cutting through the panic like anchor chains in a storm.
A thief only exposed the invisible cage they built around your trust. The modern world moves fast enough to make you doubt your own senses, but a system built on speed is designed to outrun your caution. Now we stop running and we look at the math.
Kame opened his ledger, pulling up digital footprints that the police and bank algorithms had missed. He explained the invisible mechanics of the crime with brutal clarity. Kitsune hadn't hacked a bank. He had harvested human emotion. By studying how families communicate, modern scam artists use artificial intelligence to weaponize love and panic against seniors.
They know you will move heaven and earth for your family.
Kame explained, sketching a simple diagram on a wooden slate.
So they build a digital mirror of your loved one's voice. They manufacture an artificial crisis because urgency kills skepticism. The lesson of the digital age isn't that technology is evil. It's that speed is the predator's favorite weapon. Whenever someone demands your money right now, they are hiding something from you.
Saru sat in the corner, staring at his glowing handheld screen in horrified realization of how his carelessness had paved the way.
Recovery wasn't about wishing the past away. It was about building a fortress of concrete procedures. Kame pulled out a step-by-step recovery framework tailored specifically for seniors in the US and Canada. First, they froze every remaining asset, locking down credit bureaus across North America to sever Kitsune's access pipeline. Next, Kame guided them through the complex federal fraud reporting protocols, contacting the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center and U.S. consumer protection agencies with surgical precision. They established a strict family safe word protocol, a physical, unhackable password known only across generations, completely immune to AI voice cloning. Kame taught Dorilla how to audit his digital footprint, stripping away personal metadata from public channels. The work was tedious, but with every account locked and every safeguard secured, Dorilla's posture straightened. He wasn't a helpless victim anymore. He was a survivor reclaiming his ground.
6 months later, the morning mist over the foothills felt different. While every dollar lost couldn't be magically recovered, federal recovery task forces, armed with Kame's forensic tracking, successfully intercepted a portion of Kitsune's offshore accounts, restoring Dorilla's core stability. More importantly, Dorilla's spirit was unbroken. He sat on his porch, sharing a quiet breakfast with Saru, who now kept his phone locked and his digital footprint tightly guarded. Dorilla looked out across the valley, knowing that the digital wilderness would always harbor wolves like Kitsune, but he was no longer walking blind. He turned directly toward the lens of the documentary camera, his deep, resonant voice carrying a hard-earned warning to every senior watching across North America.
Protect your peace. Never trust a voice on a screen until you touch the hand behind it.
The screen fades to black, leaving an echoing silence of absolute, hard-won truth.